So Svayambhūvyākaraṇam has been a wonderful textbook to use at Dharma Buddhist University. First of all, it's a really good introduction for beginning Sanskrit students. It covers all of the basic grammar in detail, but without too much detail to kind of weigh down people who maybe are interested in Sanskrit but aren't quite sure if they really want to learn every last detail about Sanskrit. And it has a really good pace, I think, for beginning students. Also, the vocabulary has been really good for learning Sanskrit here at DRBU because it's based in Buddhist texts. So it starts off reading passages from various Buddhist stories and also shastras, and it repeats the vocabulary so the students become familiar with certain words. And it's really nice because they can immediately apply the vocabulary that they learn to the other Buddhist material that they're reading in other classes. So it's very accessible, and I think that's one really good thing about this book. Svayambhūvyākaraṇam also avoids a lot of the Western grammatical jargon that we often find in the study of Sanskrit. And this is useful because we see in the United States, a lot of students are coming to college without having a lot of traditional grammatical backgrounds. They don't study grammar in, grade school and high school like they used to. So it's nice to have the grammar structure based in Sanskrit terms. And that also puts the students whose first language is English on par with a lot of our international students who are looking at some of these grammatical terms. Also, for the first time, everybody is on the same page. They're all learning the Sanskrit terms together. That's nice. And I also really like that the book is steeped in Panini's system. So the students are learning, traditional Sanskrit grammar as it's taught in India. And that's nice. So if they ever do decide to read commentaries, they'll be familiar with a lot of the terms that they'll encounter in commentarial literature. I like also that the book has padachedas, so the word kind of divisions, and also translations with the examples and the readings. This makes it very accessible to students of whatever level. However, whatever that they understand of Sanskrit, they can use these tools in the textbook to kind of go deeper and develop their understanding of the language. They're kind of like training wheels that I think help guide the student along the way and make it a little bit more friendly to study Sanskrit. And the exercises are great. They're, I'd say, not too heavy. They're very also accessible, for the most part, to beginning students. There are things that we can go over together in class to kind of correct them, and I like that aspect that, we can kind of have the students work on them at home individually, but then cover them together as a group to kind of compare where everybody is at with their responses, with their answers, and correct together. So I like the exercises in the book. But the best part of the best feature, I think, of Svayambhūvyākaraṇam is the approach using daily chanting. And I really, really love the daily chanting in Svayambhūvyākaraṇam because it divides all the lessons into units, and each unit has a set of daily chants. And the chants are recorded by Mattia, so the students have both the audio and the visual, so depending on whatever kind of learner they are, they're getting reinforcements to kind of create patterns in their minds to remember all of the paradigms and declensions. It's something that we at Dharma Buddhist University will do together as a group in class, but then on the days that we don't have Sanskrit class, the students also do the daily chanting on their own. And it's a very, I think, good way to introduce a lot of different paradigms in a gentle way, you know, so students have practice with the different paradigms and gradually build up kind of a familiarity with them. It also gives us all common ground, so we can reference the different paradigms that are used, Buddha, Palam, or Nadi, and say, okay, so, you know, according to this paradigm, you know, we're going to find the vibhakti for whatever word we're looking at. So it's a good common reference that we can share together. So I really love the daily chanting. And I think I taught the grammar last year, and I'm now reading texts with the same group of students this year. And one thing that I noticed that's very positive is that the students felt very joyful studying Sanskrit. It was not something that was threatening or terrifying, you know, despite the incredible grammatical detail, you know, and the high number of exceptions for everything in Sanskrit. I think the approach that Mattia had crafted in Svayambhūvyākaraṇam made it something that the students really enjoyed. And so the students were still smiling and laughing and having a good time at the end of the year, and now are continuing to be able to read texts using the grammatical foundation that they got from this textbook. And we did have a high number of students continue on to second year Sanskrit. So I think that's a testament to just how that this approach to Sanskrit grammar made it something that students could do and enjoyed doing. So yeah, I really appreciated using Mattia Salvini's Svayambhūvyākaraṇam in class, and look forward to using it also with other students in the years to come.